No house will sell itself. It's got to have what buyers want and stand out from the crowd. So I'm giving 3 sellers the chance to get ahead of the game by having a snoop around each other's houses.
Each to their own, but this is awful.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely awful.
I'm just having difficulty with the term garden.
Today, there's kitty clutter.
Smells are one thing that will put buyers off like that.
Grotty gardens.
This at the moment feels a bit like, if I'm really honest, a bit of a junkyard.
It is a junkyard,
Yes.
And lost living rooms.
First purchased the property, the original fireplace was in there. I took it out and threw it in the skip.
But can £1,000 and a week right these wrongs?
Yes, it's perfect. Don't put it back for £4.
I wish I hadn't started now, to be honest with you.
And bag one of them a buyer.
I think we'd quite like to put in a cheeky offer.
Wales's capital city, Cardiff, is home to the country's most expensive properties. The average house here now costs around 213 grand, and all 3 sellers I'm helping today have properties around this mark. They're all hoping for an offer from today's buyers. Arts and Business Development Officer Hilary and boyfriend Christian, a commercial training manager. They met 2 years ago and are now on the hunt for their first home together.
So what are you looking for in terms of space and size?
2 good bedrooms.
Yeah.
With a 3rd room. Someone's got to be big enough to put a sofa bed in so the friends can stay.
Do you think you're on the same page when it comes to the decor of a property?
I think we tend to agree on most things. It's nice to have a bit of modern twist in a property, but we wouldn't want to take away from those old period features if they existed, for example.
Fireplace is
That would
one
be
thing,
lovely,
you know.
yeah. Parquet flooring as
yeah.
well would be lovely.
Certainly entranceways.
Yeah.
The top of a wish list, I know for you, you're really into your cooking, aren't you?
Yeah, so there's definitely kitchen, a space we can entertain with friends, things like that. A man cave, yeah, it would be great if we can have it. If it doesn't have it, it's not the end of the world, I think.
This is going to be interesting.
For that perfect period property, Hilary and Christian have a budget of £230,000.
Now, I found 3 potential properties that will all match their wish list, but they could all do with some improving before I take them to view.
First up are healthcare professionals Kerry-Ann and Anthony. Busy jobs, a family and a dog means their house is rather neglected.
Probably needs quite a lot of TLC. It's had quite a lot of things happen here, the dog, children. It's kind of a heavy-duty house.
And having outgrown their family home, they're now ready to sell.
We're moving because this house really isn't big enough for us all. And otherwise, we're happy where we are. It's just the space.
Their tired terraced house has 3 bedrooms and is loaded with the period features buyers Christian and Hilary are after. It's the most expensive of my 3 properties on the market for offers between £210,000 and £220,000. Next up are engaged couple Francesca, who runs a marketing company, and Mark, who is a business development director. Originally Mark's bachelor pad, he's kept the design simple.
I think that our house is quite sort of minimal. We haven't got a lot of clutter. Any clutter we do have, Mark doesn't particularly like, do you? No. I think if Mark had his own way, every surface would be totally clean and there wouldn't be a photo frame or a cushion in sight.
But alongside the minimal is the unfinished.
Some rooms are still a work in progress. We haven't quite added the finishing touches, and because we've worked quite a lot, we're not around a lot. I think it's probably a little bit masculine.
Don't worry, Mark, I've got a few suggestions to help you there. This bachelor pad has 4 bedrooms and a restaurant-spec kitchen perfect for buyer Christian. It could be theirs for offers between £200,000 and £210,000. Last up are psychologist Karin and her partner John, who's a carpenter. His woodworking skills have certainly been put to use.
I like kind of the old traditional country style rather than anything too modern, which is a complete opposite to John.
Without being disparaging, it's just not my thing because of all the joinery and woodwork, which I'm sick of seeing on a daily basis.
There is quite a lot, and Karin keeps quite a few pets in the property too.
I've always had cats, being a little bit of a crazy cat lady, but I've also got reptiles. I've got a pair of bearded dragons. At one time I had snakes and things as well.
Karin's timbered townhouse has 3 bedrooms and 2 open-plan reception rooms. It's on at just shy of £195,000. So, before my buyers take a look, the sellers get to snoop around each other's homes to work out how to improve their own. First stop, Karin's.
This wonderfully quirky Victorian house is packed full of charm and character, but it's also overrun by animals and clutter. The whole house feels very claustrophobic and neglected, and that needs to be addressed.
Oh, wow. It's very bright, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit garish, isn't it?
Do you like the butterflies?
Not really, no.
Yellow, mustard yellow. Oh, lovely butterflies.
Fluttery outside, cluttery inside.
Each to their own, but this is awful.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely awful.
And that's not the worst of it.
Well, it's
Very
kooky.
cluttered, isn't it?
It's kooky and cluttered, and
Yeah.
it's got hideous wood panelling.
Well, thinking about our house, I think we could certainly do for a little bit more content in the room, make it feel a little bit softer, maybe a little bit more homely.
Mark and Fran are getting that homely message upstairs as well.
I think it's certainly the better of the rooms that we've seen so far, isn't it?
Yeah, I would agree.
Still a little bit cluttered, but nowhere near as much as the living space downstairs.
And from human clutter to kitty mess.
I think it'd take quite a while to get rid of the smell in this room.
I've got a cold, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I can still smell like a urine smell.
If you're inviting someone to look around your house with a view to sell it, you know, the last thing they want to be doing is walking over fur and bits of food.
Couldn't have put it better myself, but at least the garden is inspiring Kerry-Ann and Anthony.
I think this garden is really nice. It's green, it's got a very natural feel to it, and ours hasn't got anything natural in it really at all.
Yeah.
The dog's completely ruined it.
This house is on the market for just under 195 grand.
If it was, you know, clutter-free, decorated in a different way, a lot brighter, opened up a little bit, you know, it was clean, I think you could potentially see
Justify
that price tag.
I think that's a good price for this house, given it the area it's in.
Snoop's done. Next stop is Mark and Fran's Victorian terrace.
Francesca and Mark's spacious house is well presented, but the downstairs bathroom, along with the loss of the original features and their clean and minimalistic style, means that the house has somehow lost its personality. But the other sellers should take note of the style continuity throughout the house.
Nice looking windows. Bodes well for the inside.
Looks a bit like a house from Balamory next to the green one.
It's eye-catching then. Inside, the hallway's a bit different to what Karen's used to.
This does have more of a sense of space when you come in, which my hallway feels very kind of crowded.
Probably needs a bit of a paint look.
Yeah, it's a bit like our house.
Well spotted, Anthony. On to that minimal living room.
It's very different from my place in that it's, well, it's very clutter-free for a start. Yeah, I would like a bit more colour, I think. I know you like the black and white.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think this room's sterile.
Yeah.
Everything's grey here. It feels more like an industrial room than a sitting room.
Spot on. Next, into the garden.
Despite ours being bigger, I bet they get more use out of this than we get out of ours. Because the whole function of the garden is the dog, really.
Yeah.
We haven't managed to reclaim it from any of the dogs that have lived there.
Upstairs, there are 4 good-sized bedrooms, but the rivals have spotted there's something missing.
Well, there's no upstairs bathroom or toilet by the looks of it.
What happens when you're in your shower, you know, you come out in your towel, you've got to go upstairs.
Yep, and that problem comes with the price tag of offers between £200,000 and £210,000.
I think the asking price is a bit high because it does need some work doing on it.
Yeah, I think this is a really nice house. It's good price and good area.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and it's pretty clean throughout.
I'd like
isn't
to
it?
swap.
No need to swap, just take inspiration from the garden and tidy finish. Last up is Kerry-Ann and Anthony's house.
Kerry-Ann and Anthony's 1930s semi has space, light and character in abundance, but the inside of the house is a bit of a mismatch of styles and the garden feels very neglected and now, to me, just looks like a yard.
It's nice and bright as well, looks in good condition.
Yeah, I like this. I like the bay windows as well.
Yes.
I really like the bow windows.
Bay windows.
No, they're bow, aren't they? They're bowed out.
She's right, you know. Bow windows are curved bay windows.
I'm not so keen on the fireplace there, that surround.
I am actually. I think it's the only thing with any real character along with the curtains.
Well, I prefer the old-fashioned type of fireplace that I have in my living room.
It doesn't quite feel finished to me, which I know is the sort of thing we say about our house quite a lot, but I get that impression when I'm in here.
Upstairs, Mark and Fran have stopped to admire the bathroom.
I think if we had a bathroom upstairs, we probably would have sold our house quite a long time ago.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
That's the challenge of our properties,
Yeah.
the bathroom being downstairs.
But while the bathroom's inspiring, the garden certainly isn't.
It doesn't feel like a garden, it feels more like a carport or
Yeah.
somewhere that you'd use for storage of a vehicle.
I'm just having difficulty with the term garden because I just look on it as
A yard.
a very large backyard.
Exactly, John. This house is on the market for offers between £210,000 and £220,000.
It has a lot of space, it has a lot of light, it has gardens, and it has potential.
Well, it's definitely in the family market, so I would imagine it would sell, but I think that might be a bit steep.
So both sets of rival sellers see this place as competition, if the garden can be sorted. I'm in Cardiff, Wales, where my buyers, Larry and Christian, are hoping to find that property where they can start the next chapter of their lives together.
I love Valeri's flat, it's great, but I think we were looking for somewhere which is 1930s, sort of Victorian-style property. It's got some character to it, bay windows, things like that.
Something we can put our own stamp on as well, or we can maybe add value to it.
I'll be showing them 3 properties, but not before the owners have had a chance to do them up, inspired by a snoop around their rivals' homes.
One thing that I know is that I really need to declutter. I mean, looking at these other 2 houses, they almost look like there's no one living there.
For us now, I think what we've learned is that we've just got those finishing touches to really make it feel more homely and lived in.
We learnt that we should pay more attention to the paintwork, to the areas of the house that we perhaps overlook because we go, oh, the dog's done that.
So all 3 sellers know what's wrong with their places. Time to see if, with £1,000 to spend on a makeover, they know how to put them right. Starting with Kerry Ann and Anthony's tired and unloved living room.
Why do you think you haven't done this room as well as it, say, could be done?
Probably because maybe my heart's not entirely into this house, if I was totally honest.
Yeah, that's
and also because of the dog. And when I have sort of glammed it up a bit or sort of bought some things, the dog's eaten a cushion or, you know, messed the rug up somehow.
I think that's what happens with a lot of animal lovers, is that they tend to think, oh, but it's their house as well. It's all right if they eat the furniture. It's all right if they scratch everywhere. And it's all right if they wheel over the floor. It's not all right when you're selling a house.
Yeah.
Yep, the dog needs to be kept out so they can redecorate. And using the fireplace as inspiration, I've got some ideas to give this room real character.
The Art Deco period was it was the beginning of the modern paint technology.
Yes.
So they did play around with lots of different colours, sort of teal blues, greens, O'Donnell, salmon pinks, all those wonderful colours. And looking at your fireplace,
it's got all of those
it's got it all in there. Paint everything from here down. And this is crying out for those wonderful little vintage mirrors.
Have you got one up in the attic?
Probably.
The other thing are your sofas. You can get loose covers for this particular sofa for 20 quid.
Oh, right,
so 40 quid will transform them. And then you can go and get your cushions, because the dog's not coming in here to eat them.
The dog's banned,
The dog is banned.
Next, another abandoned area, the garden.
This at the moment feels a bit like, if I'm really honest, a bit of a junkyard.
It is a junkyard,
Yes.
Again, it's the dog, really.
No, you can't blame the dog. We don't do anything out yet.
No, we don't do anything.
But let's blame the dog, because it's much easier.
The dog, yeah.
How destructive is she in a garden?
Massively. And that's why it's like this, because this whole path used to be a lawn.
And I think what we need to do is we need to tackle what we're going to do about the dog. I think you section that area off. That is the dog's area down there.
Yeah.
Time to come up with a master plan to not only make this garden dog-proof, but buyer-friendly.
This is going to be the dog area. And then all along here, mulch and shingle all the way down here. That when she is out, if she does dig it up, it's easy to rake over again.
Okay.
Then on this side of the fence, you know those wonderful pallets that you can get? Now you can pick them up. Lots of people will just give them away for free. So you'd have 2 pallets like this, full of flowers, and one there. Think about junkyards, all the websites that you can get online. Pick up some bits. They don't have to be expensive. So have you worked out how you're going to divvy up the work yet?
I think I'm going to be doing the more practical stuff and painting, and you're going to be doing more of the heavy, juicy stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll be doing 90% of the work. My wife will be doing 10%.
Watch it, Anthony.
This is such a lovely house, and it's got some tremendous features. But as Kerry Ann said, she's just fallen out of love with it. And you know what? It really does show. They need to find that love somewhere and put it back into this house. Their biggest task is that garden.
I thought my chat with Amanda was really useful, quite inspiring, kind of gave me the motivation really to kind of get on it and do the things I know needs to be done to sell the house.
And with that spirit of enthusiasm, Kerry-Ann gets straight to it. Or rather, Anthony does.
I'd rather not do it, to be honest, but Amanda Lamb said do it, so here I am.
Just glad you're listening, Anthony. Digging by hand is back-breaking work, but you can hire a rotavator like this for just £40.
What's happened is there's a brick stuck in it.
I hope that's switched off at the mains, Anthony, and goggles and gloves are recommended for your own safety. Next stage of the transformation is zoning the garden, but no one said it was going to be easy.
It's another like 12 to put in now.
Next, on to Mark and Franz. After the snoop, they've realised they must add character to their minimalist home, especially in the hallway.
What you need to do is when buyers walk in, you need to hit them. You need them to go, wow. Mm-hmm. So for me, what I think would work really well in this hallway is an injection of colour and an injection of detail. And that's why things like these dado rails are fantastic, because you can get them from any big DIY store and they literally just stick onto the wall. Okay. Pop that on the floor here.
And the colour comes from some wallpaper placed above the dado rail.
This is obviously quite a bold pattern. You wouldn't have to necessarily go for one as bold as this. You could go for something more subtle if you wanted to. But I think it's about creating an impact. Yeah. Is it striking terror into your very heart, all of this, or not?
No, I quite like it, actually.
Yeah?
I mean that as well.
Do you?
I think I prefer that one.
You prefer that one? Yeah.
Do you think this sort of slightly darker colour might make the hall close in a little bit, or...?
No, I don't think it would, and I think it's about putting back a bit of colour and a bit of life again.
Upstairs, I want to talk about something that is very obviously missing.
As a general rule, bathrooms downstairs are never a good idea. It's always better to get one upstairs. Yeah. So I think for this room, you'd probably be looking at somewhere in the region of 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah. But it's whether or not you could afford to put some of your own money in.
I think if it was any other time, we would put our own money into it. But with the wedding coming up, everything's going into that.
If you decide not to convert this into a bathroom, you really need to tackle this room, because it's one of the nicest bedrooms. You come upstairs and this room is beautiful. I love the colour green that you've got on the walls. Yeah. The floorboards are fantastic, but they're not being shown off to their full potential. They need to be sanded and stripped back. The weight, the shoes, it's a very blokey room in here.
And that's not the only blokey room here.
Let's have a little discussion about the decor in here. Who's been in charge of this?
That would be me.
Yeah, very much. Is that to do with the enormous plasma screen that's as big as my second bedroom and the black furniture and the grey?
Yeah.
Was there ever a fireplace here?
Yeah, when I first purchased the property, the original fireplace was in there. And
I didn't live here then.
I took it out and threw it in the skip.
That's actually made me feel a little bit sick.
It would have probably paid for the wedding if we'd, if you'd actually kept them, or we kept them in.
Original features are what buyers want. Yeah. Get that fireplace back in. Try and create a focal point in here.
I don't know.
I think we could. Why not?
With £1,000 that you do have and the week that you have, soften the rest of it and make people fall in love with your house so they can see past the fact that there is no bathroom upstairs. This house has got a lot working against it. For a start, it's on a very busy road. It's slightly wonky inside, but the biggest thing is that bathroom downstairs. Now, I think they should move it upstairs, but if they're not prepared to do it, they need to make the rest of the house feel as warm and inviting as possible. And for me, the biggest battle that they're going to have in the next 7 days is poor Fran trying to convince Mark to make those changes.
I think I will have to chip away a little bit of Mark over the next week and basically try and win him over to my way of thinking.
I'm not going to move the television and I don't think I'm going to get rid of the sofas.
I think we will get rid of one of the sofas.
Good luck with that, Fran. They can't afford to convert that bedroom into a bathroom, which is a real shame, but they can still work with what they've got and make it much more welcoming. So it's out with all the blokey things and on to stripping the floorboards.
Look at it and see how it operates.
Cue Fran.
Do you want to just wait and read the instructions first, Mark?
I just put it on.
Those sparks generally occur when you don't hammer the nails down properly.
I'm not happy about this at all. I wish I hadn't started now, to be honest with you. We should have got some carpet.
Chin up, Mark. It'll be worth it. Finally, I'm off to see Karen and John. After the snoops, they've realised they need to declutter, but I'm hoping they're clear on just how much has to go.
So I think if we're going to talk about decluttering, these are the 2 rooms we should talk about. There's a lot going on, and you need to let the space breathe.
I'm a bit of a hoarder.
You've also got a lot of wood in here.
I love the wood, though.
I thought you were going to say that. If you don't want to paint it, because that would have been one of the things I would have said would be to paint it, to
I
white
really
it
don't
out.
want to do that.
Okay, then maybe think about just toning it down and just lightening it up, because it is very orange.
And that's not the only thing that needs doing down here.
I'd like to rezone it all a bit down here, because you've got a small table in your kitchen, haven't you?
Yes.
Make this the dining room and be creative. I think that both of these rooms could look fantastic, but there's going to be a mammoth task ahead of you.
Next, I need to address that rather whiffy conservatory.
I have to bring up the smell. And smells are one thing that will put buyers off like that. It just feels like we're in a giant litter tray.
It's the reason the cats are out here, because I didn't want to smell inside the house.
Yeah. First of all, we need to get everything out. There's too much going on in here. It needs a clean-up, and it needs to be decluttered. Maybe think about installing a couple of chairs out here. Sort of make it a garden room. Make it a room that you want to come and sit in.
This house is as quirky and individual as Karen, and while there are some very lovely elements to it, it is so cluttered you can't see the space properly. There needs to be a major clear out, which I think is going to be a lot harder than she thinks it's going to be. The big problem, however, is the smell. She has to tackle it. She will not sell this house unless she can sort that smell out.
Amanda first suggested painting the woodwork, and I'm flatly not going to do that. Her other suggestions, mainly dealing with the clutter, painting, I'm quite happy to do.
Glad to hear something's got through. Though with Karen at work, she's left the huge task of decluttering to John.
The second of many. And he goes the wrong way. Never mind.
John's roped in mate Steve to give him a hand. Nice shirt, Steve.
You okay there, Steve? Yeah, I'm okay. Sure.
But when Karen gets home, she's not too impressed.
We don't want to empty the room out absolutely completely. I mean, the front room, I do need to have some furniture. I still need to live here.
There won't be a single thing you'll be looking for, I guarantee it.
So you're going to clear out everything from your place and get rid of it?
I'd love to.
And the comic collection.
Don't bring the comic collection into it. There's a different type of clutter.
It's all coming out now. Best take a break in the conservatory, Karen.
That's some homebrew wine that I started making probably a couple of years ago and never got round to finishing. So I think that can probably go.
Yep, and the rest. Here in Cardiff, my 3 sellers are now partway through revamping their homes, ready to show buyers Larry and Christian.
We're looking for a place with outside space where we can enjoy it with our friends, somewhere with a nice sized kitchen and just somewhere with a bit of character.
All 3 sellers have £1,000 to fund their makeover. For Kerry-Ann and Anthony, that means redecorating their living room in an Art Deco style, inspired by the fireplace. And with the painting underway, they head out to an antique centre for accessories.
The main thing we're looking for today is some accessories for the front room that fit with the fireplace.
That's almost perfect.
That is almost perfect. Look at that, that's lush.
I like that.
Try to get it home in one piece, guys.
It's £4.
Is it really £4?
Yeah.
Right, let's get it then.
Go for the period.
Yes, it does, it's perfect. Don't put it back for £4.
Nice find.
What about this mirror?
£75, love, think of the budget. Even though he thinks he's in charge of the budget, it's actually me.
You tell him, Kerry-Ann.
Any chance you can give us anything off because we bought 4 items?
Yeah, I can do 10% for cash.
Brilliant.
Oh,
we
really?
got cash?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
thanks
fine.
very much.
That's a mirror, 2 lampshades and a vintage fireguard for just £35. Top bargain hunting. For Fran and Mark, it's all about adding character to their minimalist home. Upstairs, that means sanding and revarnishing the floor.
I actually picked the colour for the floor myself. I did a store this morning and seen this one and just went for it, and I think it's probably the right choice.
I think that looks really good, Mark. It's come out really well, isn't it?
Downstairs in the hallway, they've gone with the dado rail idea. And for just £30, it's a cheap and easy way to add a bit of character, especially with that bold wallpaper on top. The living room was cold and masculine, so I suggested warming it up with a bit of colour. But sunshine yellow may be taking things a bit too far.
I can't put all the blame on Mark when it comes to the colour. We both decided we were going to go for a yellow, and we've been so busy this week that he did the final shop. And to be honest with you, this was actually one of the ones that looked less yellow on the swatch.
Proof it's always worth getting a tester first.
Do you think it's too yellow?
Aye. Do you not?
It's very yellow.
Yep, you'll need shades for that one. At Karen and John's, they've decluttered the lounge and have hired a company to help empty the conservatory for £200. And the cats are going on a little holiday, so not to put the buyers off.
Maybe Roman can take some of his cat toys to the cattery with him.
With the conservatory now cleared, Karen and daughter Raven are getting arty, upcycling some chairs they bought from a charity shop. They'll go in the newly defined dining area.
Rather than having to buy a whole new set of dining chairs, which might have cost £100 or so, we've got these for £20.
A can of spray paint costs around £10 and should cover all 4 chairs.
There is a lot to be said for upcycling. It's not something I've actually really tried before. I think I'm converted.
Seems Raven is doing most of it though, Karen. At Carrie Ann and Anthony's, they've paused the painting in the living room and turned their attention to the abandoned garden. They've managed to scavenge some pallets for free and are painting them along with the shed.
Worst job, I think, is painting. I hate it.
Everybody else hates it when you paint as well.
This is actually my shed. You're painting a beach hut colour.
Oh, I know, your cave has turned into a beach hut.
Yeah, it's nothing sacred.
Poor Diddums. Back at Fran and Mark's, Fran is toning down the bright yellow living room by painting it again.
We sat in here last night and we decided that the yellow made us feel ill. And if anything, we were probably putting buyers off.
Yep, you're probably right. With the paint finally sorted, they can think about finishing touches. But Mark is still standing firm about the fireplace.
There's no fireplaces happening. We've decided against that, haven't we?
You and the budget decided against that.
Let's hope Mark does put his hand in his pocket for something today.
I've never paid £20 for a bottle unless it's had some good stuff in it. Nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
All right, we'll have that in the mirror, and then we'll get 3 little pots now.
Okay.
Those accessories will definitely go some way to adding warmth to the house, which will make it more appealing to buyers.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Sold.
Bye.
Bye.
At Karen and John's, with the decluttering done and the cats away, it's time to get painting in separate rooms.
I think it's better that John and I work in different rooms, mainly just so we don't get in each other's way.
So while Karen tackles the kitty-free conservatory, John is painting over some of Karen's beloved wood in the living room.
The ceiling really does have to go, I think, as originally envisaged. We won't get it done in time or on budget, but maybe as a long-term something that Karen could stop sighing about and come round to.
It's not happening.
He's right, though, you know. At Carrie Ann and Anthony's, with the decorating done in the living room, Carrie Ann is adding the final Art Deco accessories.
In terms of the competition, we've worked really hard. We hope we're going to win. And as they say in Welsh, byddwn yn ennill.
I think that means we will win. The living room was bland and forgotten, but by redecorating in a warm green, covering the sofas in a comfortable fabric and dressing the place with stylish antiques, they've brought the whole 30s look together.
Love the colour. The colour is fantastic. I like the way that you've gone and sourced all those wonderful vintage individual pieces. You see, the thing is with your house, it's a beautiful house and it's got amazing period features, but those period features were lost because this just felt unloved. And it's like you said, you've fallen out of love with the house.
Yes,
but now, particularly this room, it feels like a house that's got a lot of love in it. Did you enjoy the whole design process of it?
Yes, I did enjoy that bit, and sourcing things and looking and
spending money.
Outside, the garden had suffered at the hands of the dog. By rezoning the space, re-establishing the flower beds, turning old crates into planters and painting key areas in a seaside theme, they've brought it back to life, all for a cost of £528.
It's a totally different garden.
this is amazing. I just can't believe the transformation in it, and the hard work that Anthony's put in, it so shows now it's kind of finished.
It's neat, it's tidy, it's easy to maintain. Good job I came up with the idea of the pallets, wasn't it? They've come up brilliantly.
Yeah.
What you've managed to achieve now is you've given this garden its identity back. It now looks like a garden.
Yeah.
It's a usable space. I cannot tell you how different this looks and how important it is to make sure that every single room in your house when you're selling a property is top-notch.
Over at Fran and Mark's, they're giving the spare bedroom a final lick of paint to add that last bit of character.
I think it's definitely going to be a big improvement on what it was. I think it'll definitely have a more homely feel.
And Fran revamps an old cabinet.
It's been a tiring week, definitely, but it's been good fun, and I've learnt a lot.
The hallway was cold and bare. They've repainted, added a dado rail and put up wallpaper. It cost £730, including a decorator, but it definitely feels worth it.
This is such an incredible difference, isn't it?
Yeah, we actually went with the exact same wallpaper that you put up on the wall when you came round, and we went through a few others online before we came back to this one, and then just decided that it was perfect.
Yeah, we decided to listen to the experts. So,
And the other thing, like we said last week, hallways are the first thing that people see, other than obviously the outside of the house. So what you need to do is create an impact, and you have done. It's just beautiful. Great use of colour. Are you pleased with it? Very.
yeah, very pleased with it. It certainly feels more homely.
In the living room, they might not have gone for the fireplace, but they've added some much-needed character, thanks in part to clever touches like this quirky collection of picture frames.
This looks lovely, despite the fact you didn't put fireplace in.
Yeah. No fireplaces.
Which is such a shame, because that's what buyers want. They want the original features, but you are not getting rid of that TV for love nor money. Did you try and convince him?
I did try, and he told me that everything I wanted to do was impossible in the time frame. But I proved you wrong on some of them, didn't I?
Yeah.
Whereas before this room felt a bit disjointed.
Yeah.
And it was dominated by the TV, because the rest of it, there's so many other things to look at.
Yeah.
It does tend to sort of...
It's not the sole focus anymore.
Yeah, it feels a bit softer, a bit warmer, a bit more homely, which
much
was
softer,
that was
much
the master
warmer.
plan, so we're quite happy with it.
I know with the bedroom upstairs, the big thing is the bathroom, isn't it? I reckon that's probably what's stopping people buying this house.
Yes.
But what you've managed to achieve in that room is incredible.
The bedroom was cluttered and unloved. By sanding the floor and giving it a lick of paint, they've made it feel much fresher.
You know what? I think now what you've managed to achieve is, even though the bathroom isn't upstairs, anybody coming into this house now, that's the only job they've got to do.
Yeah.
And because the rest of the house now looks beautiful, you could live with that for a while you were saving up to do it. So, well done.
At Karin's, the clutter has gone and the wood is painted. Well, some of it is. And the animals have gone on holiday.
Where's the cat? It doesn't seem right. One at each end.
All I'm thinking is I
Percussion.
just want to collapse on it now.
Karin's house was cramped because of all the clutter. But by clearing it out and redecorating, the whole downstairs has been opened up and now has clearly defined living and dining areas.
It's almost unrecognisable in here.
It's very different.
It really is.
So much more space. Some of the woodwork was painted really dark.
Yes.
Was a really dark varnish. So I thought, if we just go for painting the dark woodwork and leave the rest.
And even the elements of that has worked brilliantly, because before, when you came into these two rooms, they felt very disjointed, very cluttered, full of stuff. You couldn't really get a sense of space because there was so much going on in here. And now they're clean, they're streamlined. This is fantastic. And these were charity shop finds that you painted.
That's right.
This would make a great dining room. That's a fantastic living room. And it's just brightened it,
It has,
all up. Even
much
by just
brighter.
painting a bit of the wood, it feels much brighter.
Next door has gone from oversized litter tray to the smart, comfortable conservatory it always should have been.
This is transformed. You must be really proud.
I'm very pleased with it.
You've now enabled any buyer to see these spaces for what they are.
Yes. And really, the conservatory as it is now is the vision I had in the first instance.
Yeah.
Before the cats took over and it became an animal room.
Conservatories are such a luxury, and before you couldn't really see it, could you? Because you had your litter trays and you had the old sofa, and it was all just a mess and a jumble. But now it's fresh, it's clean, it's painted. Literally 10 out of 10. I know it's been a very hard slog this week, but I think it's all been worth it.
Yes, I think it's been worth it too. Thank you.
My 3 Cardiff properties are ready to show buyers Larry and Christian, who have 230 grand to buy their first home together.
Because we're willing to do the work, it doesn't necessarily matter if a kitchen's painted lime green.
No.
I think it's the space that's important to us.
All 3 owners have revamped their homes. For Karen and John, that meant a complete declutter and new decor on the ground floor.
I think the results are good.
Yeah.
And it has encouraged me to get things done which wouldn't have got done otherwise.
Fran and Mark have given their sterile townhouse a big injection of colour, character and personality.
Yeah, confident that, we've put in a lot of effort and I hope that it shows and that the buyer might be interested.
While Kerry-Ann and Anthony are delighted with the transformation at their family home.
I hope we've done enough. I think it looks gorgeous.
And first up for my buyers is here at Kerry-Ann and Anthony's house.
So here we are, possibly your first home together. First impressions.
Yeah, lovely. Really like it. It's exactly the sort of house that we'd look at, definitely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of what you've asked for. It's got lots of original features. It's an older property. I think it was built in 1932. Let's get inside and see whether it gets you in the gut, so to speak. Ready?
Great.
The outside's a hit. Inside, I can't wait to show them that transformed Art Deco lounge.
So this is your formal living room. It's got lovely features, the parquet flooring, the picture rails, the original fireplaces. Is there much you would do?
Wouldn't do much in
I don't
terms
think
of
there's much
decoration,
I
no, to
think
be honest.
It's lovely in here. It's definitely got the look and feel in here. This is what I think what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Look at those smiles. Onwards and outside to the revamped garden.
Is this a good size for you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a good
That would be
size. It's a
lovely.
nice shape. It's the enclosed sort of. It's that personal feel, and I think that's nice.
Yeah.
It's got that homely feel. It's not exposed. There's plenty of space for a barbecue and a herb garden.
Yeah.
So it's definitely really what we're looking for.
Yeah.
I think they like it. And upstairs?
This is one of 3 bedrooms up here.
That's perfect amount of bedrooms. It's a good main bedroom as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great size. And
Yeah.
The bay
Window
window
as
as well
well.
really adds to it.
Yeah.
It's that character again that we're looking for.
The asking price of this house offers between 210 and 220. So based on what you've seen so far, is that a good price, a bad price?
It's what we're looking for in a house. It's ticking all the boxes.
It is.
Kerry-Ann and Anthony's house is clearly a hit, but there's still 2 great properties to come. On to Mark and Fran's Victorian terrace.
I love this house as well. I think, again, it's got lots and lots of character. Lots of charm, lots of little quirky features and a bespoke kitchen.
Lovely.
Look at those smiles again. Inside to the hallway with added character.
Your initial impressions as you walk in?
Lovely.
Yeah, bags of character.
Nice floor
nice
as well.
arch, the coving.
Ooh, I feel a dilemma coming on.
Yeah, it's really nice.
This couldn't be going any better. On to the warmed-up living room.
What do you think about the decor and the size of the room? Is this the sort of thing you had in mind?
It's the cosy feel to it. It's just snug. It's a place to hide away and watch sport and.
Yeah. It's an interesting house, this, because it's a big house when you get inside and it's got lots of different spaces for entertaining. So like you say, this is your kind of chill out, sport, snug room. And then you've got your dining area and then you've got your kitchen.
Well, if they're not won over yet, the bespoke kitchen should hit the spot for keen amateur chef Christian.
Even though it's not the biggest kitchen space in the world, because this has been designed, you've got
loads of storage.
Loads of storage. I mean, is it big enough for you to cook in?
It's large enough. It's designed well. That's the big difference. It works. So yeah, no, I really like it.
I knew they'd like the kitchen. Time for the tricky bit, the lack of an upstairs bathroom.
There's a lot of space here, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. And we've been really lucky being in a flat with such a big bathroom. So we know it's something we may have to compromise on, but there's an option now to potentially do that.
Would you live with a bathroom downstairs or would you need to bring it upstairs straight away?
I would personally want to bring it up straight away, to be honest. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I think the beauty is you could live with the downstairs bathroom while you're doing up here.
Yeah.
Exactly that. You could really go to town with it and you'd have enough money in your budget, which brings me on to the price.
Yes.
Go on then.
I think for it's 220, 230.
I would say like 210. I don't know.
It's between 200 and 210.
Okay.
Great.
So that would give you some money
that
over
would be
for a
good.
gorgeous bathroom.
You spend it all on that. Yeah, that would be great.
So the first 2 homes are winners, but there's still one more to come.
So here we are, a slightly quiet house. What do you get? There's a colourful theme going on. What do you think of the outside?
It's quite bright, I have to say.
Yeah, you don't get to see that a lot.
No, you
it
don't,
is.
especially in Cardiff, actually. So
Yeah, well, there you go. It's unique. Let's get inside.
I think that's a polite way of saying she's not that keen, but hopefully she'll like the updated and streamlined reception rooms.
Your initial impressions when you walk in?
I like the space.
Yeah, it's nice that you can walk through and that it's quite open.
Yeah.
I mean, but the wood does make you feel a little bit enclosed, but you know.
You could paint it or take it down.
I'd take it down, probably, yeah.
Your faces aren't as excited as they were in the other 2 properties that we've seen.
Literally just on first impressions, I don't see it as here as I did in the other one.
No, I think it's not somewhere which stuns you when you walk in. You think, oh, this is as the previous house did.
It's one of those houses that I think you could walk in and go, wow, but you would just need to put your own stamp on it.
Yeah.
What do you think it's on the market at?
180?
Yeah, I would go 180, 175 or something, yeah.
It's on the market at 194,500, so a bit more than both of you thought, actually.
Yeah, especially for the area and the money that you need to spend on it.
Yeah.
To get it to how we'd like it to look.
Okay.
But there's plenty more to this house, including the sweet Suntrap conservatory.
So this is a nice little bonus. You've got a conservatory and a wonderful little garden that just sort of winds its way all the way down, lots of little nooks and crannies and little secret spots.
Yeah, that's really long, actually.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, now we're looking at a bit more of the house and you know the price. What are your feelings now?
I'm still not
Yeah.
in love with it, if I'm honest. It's not, I can't see us in it.
No.
Do you want to look at the rest of the house or is this a 2-horse race?
You think it really is a 2-horse race?
Yeah, it is,
isn't
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think revisits are always a very, very good idea. My feeling is go back and have a look at the 1930s house because I get the impression that that's probably your favourite one.
It is my favourite, yeah.
I'm going to find somewhere that we can sit down and have a proper chat and we'll reconvene shortly.
Yeah, sounds good.
Great.
Hilaria and Christian head back to Kerry Ann and Anthony's 1930s house for a closer look.
I do love this lounge.
I really do as well.
And it seems they like it just as much on the second visit.
All around.
I still think it's a good sized box room.
It's been a day, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You've just been to have a second viewing. Has that confirmed your love of it or not?
Yeah, it has, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, and it has that potential to add value to, which I don't think the Victorian house had.
What is it about the property that you love so much then?
It's got that bit more longevity in it. It's not just a 5-year house. We could live there for that little bit longer.
So then the 1930s house is obviously the clear favourite. What would you like me to do?
I think we'd quite like to put in a cheeky offer, if possible.
Cheeky offers, that's brilliant. Okay, so where would you like me to begin negotiations?
Smack bang in the middle, maybe?
Yeah. Split it down the line,
Yeah.
215,000.
Yeah.
Right. I'm very excited. This is my favourite bit of the job. Oh, hi Richard, it's Amanda Lamb. How are you? Yep, I have my clients with me and we would like to make an offer, please, on the 1930s house of £215,000. Wonderful, that's great. Thanks very much, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Back at Kerry Ann and Anthony's, the estate agent passes on the offer.
Hi, Richard, all right? Yeah. 215. Well, that's amazing. And obviously, I would accept that offer.
Definitely.
I'm like seriously happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm like seriously happy with that. Oh, God, I can't believe it.
Why?
Because I've tried to sell this house so...
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Hello. Hi, Richard. Thank you very much indeed for that. I will be in touch shortly. Bye-bye. It's yours.
Seriously?
I've accepted it. Congrats. We'll kiss each other first and then give me a kiss. Congratulations. It's all
thank you.
accepted. Now you've got to crack on and sell yours.
Thank you for your help.
I'm coming to the housewarming party.
Sadly, I didn't get to go to any housewarming, as a few weeks after accepting the offer, Kerry-Ann and Anthony decided they liked their made-over home so much they wanted to stay put, leaving Christian and Hilary still on the hunt for their first home together. But there is some good news, as Mark and Fran have sold their place.
We've managed to sell this and get the property we want within 3 weeks of
Amanda leaving.
Really? Yeah, it's worked out really well.
Really looking forward to moving now and getting started on the new house.
Yeah.